down on, but Kelra gets the vengeance kill.
And this is part of it too. You know, he just picked up the Sky Piercer, so now that Kelra goes and continues to build up, the shields are going to pop. You know, even before this Lord comes into play here, about a minute away before it can get taken. So it almost feels like ONIC Philippines was like, you know, yeah, TNC, you were a little scrappy. You might have had that little bit of a win, but even when it comes to the objective, we'll fight you guys, and we'll remind you who we are at this point.
Now I gotta glaze on ONIC PH because just watching them execute those fights, those sequences, it's just, literally, it's everyone knows what they have to do, where they need to be. How the heck did Kelra land that Sonata?
We didn't see the angle.
Yeah, I really thought that Zaida was at least blocking it, but Kelra somehow found an angle. I was like, nah, there's just right enough room where I'll be able to hit Lancy, and then it landed.
And that's why I love what Super Prince does when he picks up the Farsa here. Like, he is one of those players. I mean, more and more do it now, but he's been one of those players for the longest time when he picks up the Farsa. Like, he's so aggressive that he flickers forward, right?
He's done it twice this game.
He's done it twice this game, but he's done that so many times in the past, and it sets things up perfectly for those off angles.
That's a real moment, ladies and gentlemen, during the Infinix hand cam, where they took 3 down like it was nothing, trading out King Kong for 3 members of TNC. Lancy, Zaida, Yaoi down. Lord J might follow through. One more for the Filipino Savage as Kelra takes down the last member, Sans Kozin from TNC.
He's still up in the heavens, the god of the gold lane, still proving that he lives up to that name. 6 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists. He's just out for blood.
He was technically in the mid, but yes.
He's just a
god.
He's a god at this point. A lot of us have seen it, especially on this Granger pick. And we're going to take a look at the replay. I mean, look at this. The collapse down. Lord JM was waiting in the winds, but it's just too late. I mean, even if he comes in, Brusco just heals up, and he's like, I got you in a way. Even though he goes down, but Kelra will land that last shot, the Destinata. Oh, all right.
They missed the money shot. Like, right then and there was the point blank hit of the Rondo, even.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to hit that long range. And the more Kelra does this on the Granger, which throws me back to SBS, the more he reminds me of one of the Philippines' greatest athletes, pool player, Efren Bata Reyes.
Yeah, man.
The geometrical genius.
Yeah. Just the angles that he takes on the table.
It's ridiculous.
Called him the magician. Other than the kid, he was the magician.
Dude, it's amazing how they both have multiple monikers and they all stick.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Kelra does too.
Exactly.
They're
both world champions.
Like, all the praise we were dishing out for TNC Pro Team with the effort that we're showing, and this always seems to happen for an ONIC game, where it's like, oh, whoa, it's looking a little shaky. It looks like they might drop this. Suddenly, okay, let's flip the switch. Show them just how good we are at this game.
All right, you got your licks in.
Yeah, you good? All right. It's literally the IRL version of an Aldous going, my turn.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, I just think it's part of it is like, ONIC Philippines is, you know, when it comes to the team fighting, they're great, obviously. Individually in their lanes, they're great. But it's also that macro awareness. And this has always been the highlight of, I mean, even when Super Friends, for example, gets the Louis Yi, it even highlighted their macro awareness even more because of the plays they made. But just when they put pressure, because that one was happening earlier. And that's why when we went back to the game, even though TNC won that little skirmish earlier on, it's like, well, yeah, the map is still blue. It's still for ONIC Philippines because every time they lose something, they're getting something elsewhere. And that's what every single one of their games, from last season M6 to SBS to now, that's what they're doing.
They see the map in a different way. And at first, we thought it was just Super Friends. Off of the 8G podcast, it was revealed by a lot of pro players that guested on that podcast. Friends just sees the game differently, man. He reads the map like no one can. Apparently, you spend enough time with Super Friends as a part of the Super Fam,
you're gonna learn.
You pick it up. You get. That's why I assume Kelra is so good at the Granger now, is because he sees the map in a different way.
He sees through Super Friends' eyes. Somehow, some way.
That's trippy.
That is.
Yeah, it's just cool to see a gold laner that when he's getting provided vision, he does something with that vision. Whether it's Kurt, Brusco, either of those two, maybe even King Kong, a little bit too deep, a little bit too aggro. Kelra's always just there to go, nah, I got you. I'll make sure that if you go down, it won't be a waste.
We'll see if they can actually catch Kelra this time around, or actually fight for this Lord here.
Down to a fifth of its health, now a 10. King Kong knee deep.
Oh!
Zaida gets the steal. AOD by Yowie in the thick of it. He does go down, traded out for Super Prince. Looking for the punish. Kelra gets a double. Zaida running through.
Oh, no, Zaida.
Can ONIC Philippines stop him? He gets away with highway robbery.
A Lord, and they took Super Prince down too, and this will force ONIC PH to go back. Yaoi Lord JM will be up just in time. Let's see if King Kong will be able to delay it. Now, in terms of how the movement is going right now, it seems like, oh, it might just be wasted. They won't be able to make the most out of this Lord TNC Pro Team.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
It's something, it's something. What a steal, though, by Zaida. Gotta commend him.
Is this correct? The first Lord of the game?
Yeah, very first one.
Yep.
Go to the hands for TNC. So they won't be able to push with the Lord. Mid-tower, it will fall. So, okay, TNC Pro Team will be able to get something out of here. Some semblance of a little bit more control now.
So it's not a total waste to get that one. Again, it's a little bit of hope that they needed too. So that mid-turret actually doesn't go down just yet.
Yikes.
As ONIC Philippines will go ahead and still kind of continue to clear things. I'm wondering too, how many stacks does Kelra have right now? He's 8-0. What does that put him at? I think he picked up the Sky Piercer
At around 2 or 3.
around 2 or 3, maybe 4 kills.
All right.
Oh, hold on.
What's this?
Whoa,
They collapse
oh.
down onto the Brusco. Did not expect for there to be that many Phoenix Army members in that bush.
And I think, are we going to get another diversion? No, we're not, but that is a great play by TNC Pro Team. At this point, that pickoff is so expensive for ONIC PH.
That's a great play from TNC, and they can actually continue to do this and build around it.
Are we just going to let go of the fact that Zaida stole a Lord? He was down 2 levels and he stole a Lord. What are the mechanics of this young man, formerly known as Mama Coco, when he was playing in the amateurs?
Dude, ONIC Philippines wants to fight this, though. They're actually going to drop down the Feathered Airstrike. I don't think they can catch him, though, but Kirk...
Wait, they're still going.
They're still going. Oh, goes it.
Kirk goes through the wall, jumps through, and yeah, TNC is...
Oh,
TNC's
diversion.
real. Diversion going to the back line. Do they know? Super Prince throws out 1, a Death Sonata 2, they cancel.
Yeah, just like that, ONIC PH gets control of the map again. Regarding who Zaida is, a back-to-back MPL champion and MPL Season 13 champion with Team Liquid Philippines in their inaugural season. He was an MPL Season 2 Finals MVP and regular season MVP. For the longest time, though, touted as a double-edged sword, high-risk, high-reward type. That was high risk when he did trying to steal that Lord. Well, he got a high reward.
Definitely did, and so it might make ONIC Philippines also hesitant a little bit on this next one coming up in just a couple seconds. But this is where anytime, any lineup, any team that has the Loyi can play around the macro presence. But look at this, ONIC Philippines is going to go for themselves, trying to make a play.
Got a concealed play. Raging Sandstorm on a 3. SOD hits no one. Lancey's down. Bruce can turn it out for Zaida gets a kill. Look at the back line. King Kong takes down Kozin. The shutdown onto the Moskov. And Zaida her tail. But Kelra shuts him down. You ain't going nowhere, son. 3 for 1. ONIC back on the board.
What a scramble by these two, and at the end of it all, it's TNC Pro Team. Who suddenly surprised.
Lord JM, he tried to get away. Couldn't find a bush. Kelra gets him.
And now TNC have to play from the back. Or will ONIC actually just try to end with this lone minion wave against Agatas Gacha? Kozin and Lancey will be back in time.
It's an end angle. Literally Yaoi versus the world. They penetrate through mid. King Kong sent over to deal with the Lord alone. And ONIC PH just going for insurance.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, this is a showcase that even so, ONIC Philippines will find different ways to approach these team fights. I mean, think about it. They popped that conceal. They went around the corner. They caused some chaos against a lineup like this from TNC. And they end up still protecting Kelra. Like, looking at this replay, look at the positioning. Kelra's able to be okay, even though in between Lord JM and Kozin, and they still survive. So he joins this fight, pops off a couple shots, and catches Zaida here at the end. So with that, they get the Lord, they get that 1 turret, and now they get prepped and ready to approach the base of TNC.
We've always talked about how ONIC PH, suddenly it feels like they're coming from, or at least Kelra, King Kong, Kirk, usually those 3 coming from all angles. That was literally the entire team coming from every direction possible in the game.
Well, at this point, once again, Brusco using that conceal already. The turrets are going to go down. Still the top is up. That second tier finally falling. The Lord's cleared out, though, so TNC Can they stay in this game? Yawi will go ahead and charge on up the Unbreakable. They're going to clear these waves. Better airstrike.
Reggie says the answer. Cancelled AOG, revitalized by Yawi. Catches Brusco and Kirk. Vengeance already in the SOD. Kozen takes it point blank. Kelra takes down Yawi. That's a man down for TNC. Finally, the last inhibitor falls. TNC just a bare base left.
Kirk actually got to block a really good SOD angle. Since Kirk blocked it, Kozen couldn't find the perfect gag angle for his ultimate.
King Kong catches a few beads from TNC. Pushed them out. Cleared. The Phoenix Army lives on another day.
Okay, TNC will actually stay in the game despite losing all the turrets, though. They still have some fight in them. Waves pushing up on top and bottom. Are they actually going to still go for the end angle here?
The Super Fam is relentless. They want to end it. Feathered airstrike by Super Prince. Look at the back line. Scrambled. Lancey trying to go up against the guy in the gold lane. Kelra does call the shot. Kozen comes in. The wind of nature. Not enough for Kelra to survive the shutdown. 11 kills worth of gold. Side taken out by King Kong. The fight continues. 2 for 1. The current trade. Lancey's down. Yawi fighting for his life will not work out. 3 for 1. This is still an end angle. Lord Jamin Kozen left.
They're going to have to keep it together here. It's only 2 versus the 4.
Kozen gets jumped in on by Brusco. Strike served up with a few salvos of Super Prince's feathered airstrike. The base still left standing. There's one siege minion. The base is going to fall. ONIC Philippines takes game 1.
You can't count it out. The ONIC Philippines is super fam. The world champs will take it game number 1. But man, what a performance though from TNC there in game 1.
Yeah, they showed up, but it seems like with every time we saw TNC do something great and make us think, whoa, can they actually do this against ONIC PH? ONIC PH reminded who the hell they are.
Ooh, man. I was holding my breath there at the end because even with the Kozen there, I feel like him alone, the decisions he made with the SOD on some of those moments and some of those angles, hats off to him, man, to be able to go and try to do that too against a team like this. And I don't know, I have that same feeling now, right, Mara? You know, there's that fire burning in me for TNC here.
Right, there's something bubbling up in there.
It's a roller coaster of emotions. That one last sequence alone, in the final minute of the game, you could have sworn maybe TNC can do it.
Yeah. I think what got them though was what I thought was going to be a good play, but it turned out all against them. It was the diversion. They decided to supplement what Kozen did against Keller. It's like, our Moskov needs help. If the Moskov didn't have the blink to be able to get closer to the base, it would have been good that they decided to diversion that deep. But I think the diversion was just a little bit too far from safety.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the entire line of ONIC PH, ready to answer it, ready to help Kelra.
Speaking of Kelra, MVP of the game, 11, 1, and 2. And he got a little spicy there at the end too, but great performance for the Granger.
I get it though. If what TNC was thinking was to take down the MVP, this young man right here, it would have been worth it. But that's the danger of it all. You committed that many resources to just take on one hero.
Yeah.
It eventually became a 1 for 3, and you're already losing the trade.
Yeah, I think if they held on to that diversion, they already would have gotten that kill onto Kelra.
Eventually,
Eventually, but again, you can't fault it. It's such a tough call to make in that scenario. It's just also very unfortunate that typical ONIC PH things, they were ready to respond. And if you look at the MVP highlights of Kelra here, that's his theme for this game. He's ready to respond. You bring my frontliner down, but I got the info that you're low. I'm ready to toss my Death Sonata, rinse and repeat.
That was that angle we were talking about too, you know, how he lines up some of these shots with a Death Sonata. And again, it was really just the approach that ONIC Philippines took as a team. How they adapted it throughout this game is really what stood out to me. And, you know, like you mentioned too, the usage of that diversion plays a big part in what TNC was able to do. I think even at that last one that you guys were mentioning, it was unfortunate because of the fact that Yawi was also too far away from the team when that was sent through. So then they couldn't have the proper follow-up that they were looking for. But there's some phenomenal team fights here, man. I mean, for both sides through the entirety of the game.
They decided to double tap Keller. I think that's one of the main issues. If it all just came down to that last team fight, and they just, you know, said, Keller's gonna die anyways, let's go for something else.
Yeah.
Then maybe we have a... See, look.
Yeah. this is that one. Yeah, right here.
were-
See, Yawi gets cut
Oh,
off,
this is
too.
post sequence. This is post sequence.
That was a diversion. Like at that point, Kozin was fine.
Yeah.
But again, that's a really tough call to make in that scenario.
Split
the timing
second.
for some time. It's split second. If I was TNC, not gonna lie, I probably would have made that call too, to just go, you know, let's go diversion. It looks like they're split, but ONIC PH were not split. The bulk of them were where that diversion landed.
That is Schrodinger's split.
Yeah.
It's split, but it's not.
Yeah. Up until you actually see it happen.
Yeah, and this is, again, I just want to go ahead and say, like, this is TNC, a team that maybe a lot of people don't have that much expectation for so far, but this showing in game one on how they could come together, especially at the end of that game, shows a lot in what the potential for them to be. Again, you know, they did lose this game one. ONIC Philippines played their role to the T, and then Kelra, they didn't have an answer, really, for Kelra.
One thing I really like that here is actually the build of Kirk. He went War Axe, Brute Force, and then those last three, Oracle's a usual go-to, but for him to go Blade Armor, plus the Vengeance, that is one of the reasons why Kozin was kind of like annoyed with this CC, even though he had a very good KDA. And he also decided to go for the Sea Halberd. He knew just how much damage he could do as the CC, with how tanky CC is, actually quite deceptively tanky. It felt like the Master Assassin emblem was a foreshadowing, because this CC was played like an assassin in some regards.
He put blades on his yo-yos.
Yeah.
It could have been a dominance ice, folks. That's the logic here. You usually build defense on the CC, but he said, no, I'm going for the throne. I want to end this quick. So he gave even Lord JM something to think about.
Yeah, that double, I mean, with the Vengeance plus the Blade Armor, and then the Master Assassin, like, that's actually quite a bit of damage back to you.
Yeah, and Kirk understood his positioning. Again, there was one siege that when Yawi decided to AOG, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, when Yawi decided to AOG and he got Brusco, actually the SOD that goes through was blocked by Kirk. If that didn't get blocked, it would have hit an angle wherein ONIC Philippines would have gotten sandwiched by members of TNC Pro Team, because now you have a Moskov close to your back line and everyone else is still marching forward. So it just adds again to the idea of ONIC PH just know where they need to be at exactly the right time.
Yeah, a lot of the positioning is actually, for as much as if I'm not casting the games, when I do get to watch ONIC Philippines, I just look at the positioning, not just for Kelra, but like as the team, you know, because each one of them are just it seems like they're just in the right place, always at the right time, you know, and that's especially hard to do against a lineup that has a Louis Yi. That's meant to kind of like throw you off, you know, on your positioning. So great response there, like I said, from ONIC Philippines, but TNC, I like what they showed.
They tried the Louis against the Louis.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even in the draft, like, that was a good snag. You know, take it away from Super Prince.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but I can't go. I keep coming back to Kozin here. I was really impressed by how he decided to play this. I thought he had more deaths, but 612, that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, also, guys, we have a little video for you guys for Golden Month. We'll explain it after this.
Hello, MPL fans! Thank you. Maraming salamat sa mainit yung pagtanggap sa akin dito sa MLBB community ngayong Golden Month. Thank you. Kamsahamnida! Pero syempre, hindi pa tapos ang mga pasabog dahil simula bukas, may sorpresang hatid ang Golden Month para sa inyo, sa lahat ng mga nanonood ng MPL Season 15 live sa Green Sun Hotel. Sosyal! At ang kailangan nyo lamang gawin is manood, sumayaw, makisali, at masorpresa. Again, manood, sumayaw, makisali, at masorpresa. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, bibili na ako ng ticket sa ph-mpl.com/tickets dahil marami pang pasabog and surprises and prizes ang naghihintay sa inyo ngayong Golden Month. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, tututok lang ako sa MPL PH.
All right, so I'm going to ask the question on behalf of our international viewers. Who is that, and what is Golden Month?
Well, keep it short. She's very famous here, and we're giving away a lot of stuff for March. That's MLBB for you.
For those wondering, that is a former Pinoy Big Brother star and comedian and vlogger and actress,
Everything.
Melay Francisco now. She's also married to an actor, so.
And they're giving stuff away, basically. So, Golden Month for all of our viewers, and I'm sure even our international viewers, there's some way you can join.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure if it's a Philippines thing, but definitely we could say if you're in the Philippines and you play a lot of MLBB, there's a high chance if you just log in every day and play the game, you win stuff. And I'm not just saying like the typical, oh, stickers, recalls, all that. Actual physical stuff. Potentially, maybe, if you participate.
Good things. So, you know, if you're in the Philippines, go ahead and join us for Golden Month. And now, again, going to the matchup here. I don't know, man. I know first series, I was like, I wasn't expecting the sweep. This one, before we just saw this, I was like, yeah, this might be a sweep. But I think this one, again, for TNC, I still believe that they can actually take a game. I think they can, but looking at this, by the way, can they take a game against a team that has a marching band?
It's not just a marching band. It's a Sonic Republic.
It's a Sonic Republic marching band.
The marching band is a sub-unit of the Republic.
Of the Republic.
It is a full-on, just short of being just country.
You know, one thing I gotta say is that for MPL Indonesia fans, and for our Indonesia brothers and sisters,
Looks familiar.
This is a common sight for them, so it's good to see that we have that now here too at home. They got flares? Oh, they got flares?
They get road clearance for that?
What the
They
heck?
told the government, local government unit of Makati City to do this?
That's cool. I wish we were part of that, man. That looks like a lot of fun.
They actually stopped traffic, by the way. So that was the use of the flare. Like, they held the traffic there for that.
No one will pass through this street so that we can celebrate our world champions.
I wish that we had footage of people getting out of their cars and like dancing along with.
Yeah. You just like, what's going on? Cool.
Just keep it going, you
No,
know?
I don't think that's how it works in real life. Someone would have gotten out of their car and terrifyingly mad.
Oh man, brings me back to one of these commercials I did way back where I had to be one of those people that get out of car and dance.
Oh, you broke.
Hold up, family.
I'm dealing with so much stimuli right now.
Let's go ahead. All right.
No. Someone needs to look for that. Someone needs to find a
Find it.
video of a commercial that was in the States or in the Philippines.
I'll give you a hint. It was called Jump In. It was a song. It was a music video.
All right. Someone's got to look for that.
A music
Nice
video,
a music
to
video.
a song called Jump In and give us the time
She's a
stamp.
Filipino artist.
From a Filipino artist,
I think her name's Sanchez. Something Sanchez. Jessica.
Jessica Sanchez.
Yeah.
So it's getting so much easier then.
Those are a lot of hints, but here's the hint. TNC picks blue.
Oh, okay.
So the meta does dictate that blue is strong.
Yeah. I'm still going to lean towards the idea that maybe down the line, like once they understand the meta a little bit more, we'll see more just red side trials. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with just, if Suyo's open for you, you pick Suyo. If Joy's open for you, you go ahead and pick Joy in the first pick blue side. It's like there's nothing wrong with prioritizing and rushing those two. If you want to be spicy and surprised, if Joy's off the table, you can Grange your first pick. If you really want to be spicy, you go Harith first pick.
Something tells me the Joy first pick is a very specific ONIC thing.
Yeah, I feel like they're one of the, probably like in my memory, like the only team or maybe one of two
Who
teams
puts
that
more
does it.
stock in the Joy?
In the Joy.
Yeah.
And that's just like such a King Kong thing in general, you know, to be able to go ahead. I think he loves to be able to have that ability to move so quickly.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Joy's probably one of the fastest heroes, you know, to be able to like have that mobility, that type of mobility, but also just to be able to pump out enough damage too, because that's the thing, you know, her damage profile is great.
Now, as we look at Brusco, played his first Cali game in MPL PH after winning M6 with an 86% win rate in 7 games with the hero. Yeah, actually looking back in MPL Philippines Season 14, yeah, that was one of the main picks that really just made us go, wow, Khalid, really? And then Brusco made his name. With that hero, alongside, of course, they got the Kacha. At that time, they were still flexing Edith as Rome EXP.
You know what I miss?
What do you miss?
ONIC PH flexing alpha. You remember here in this very arena
XP.
about
XP
4 or 5 months ago, they brought out the alpha, and I could have sworn I was on camera and I was on broadcasting. There's no way this works.
And it worked.
It did.
I feel like
Wait.
in a way they limit test themselves.
If I'm not mistaken, it didn't work in that game where you called this won't work. then it worked after that, right?
In the hands of ONIC.
In the hands of ONIC,
They
yeah.
played it as a very specific. I talked to Coach Tony after. Like, Coach
Uh-huh.
Tony, I have a lot of explaining to do. My integrity as a broadcaster and analyst of MLBB is on the line.
On the line.
I did say, like, there's no way this is right. He was like, this was during the heyday of Phovius.
Ah,
And
right,
like,
right.
he was like, oh, Leo, it's because it's a good answer to Phovius in the XP. And it was! And then it solved itself.
Oh yeah, that's why we saw that whole like alpha jungle prio also
Because it evolved
Yeah.
from that.
get involved from that. Yeah, okay.
That's I don't know.
I miss that on it.
I was gonna say I don't miss Alpha.
Why not? Alpha's great.
I don't know. When I think of Alpha, I have like as a half American, I have flashbacks of M6
Oh,
okay.
going this away.
Yeah.
going not the way that he wanted to. That's
Dude.
not the spirit of Alpha. I know.
I hate it so much, mainly because it works the opposite way as the Ruby DD. Ruby DD is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a move that you do with the Lunos.
Yeah.
But whenever it happens to me in game, and people who watch my stream know this, oh no, I pulled the Mobazane because I fear of Alpha backwards. I don't know. It's a quirk for the old. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bug that's meant to be. It's just a thing that happens.
It's just something that happens.
Yeah, I think a lot of alpha players can relate to that moment. Also, it's like, when I saw a player again, my initial reaction was like, "What the heck is happening?" And then I run it back. It's like, yeah, I felt that more than 10 times in my entire life playing alpha.
Yeah, I pulled the Mobazane. Back to streaming, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's back.
Oh, good to see him.
And he's doing great. Like, again, just to answer all of the inquiries and dash all doubts, he literally was just taking a break.
I feel like everybody, kind of went through that. Even like Yawi here, here we go. I'm sure he's went through it now. He is the MPL PH player with the most games played on Cho. This is what we hinted at earlier. 44 games with a 54.55% win rate here, Redmark.
Yeah, and it's wild considering the significant amount of time he spent in Indonesia. No one has surpassed him yet in the usage of Cho.
He let dudes catch up, and he's still the #1 Cho.
Yeah, I think it stems also from his time in next play. But it's weird because during that time they were flexing Cho. Sometimes we'd see Renegade go EXP.
That's
Cho.
why it became a Renegade signature pick too.
Yeah. So it's wild to see. Though when we said earlier Yawi is Cho.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a stat line for you.
And I would say, even like for Renegade, he's known as like, the hitman and everything else. And he's also one of those Filipino players that's well known for his Cho. But then there's just Yawi. Like Yawi's just on this other level right now. So I don't know. They were the ones that banned it out though in the previous game, right? So this time around, TNC is going to be on the blue side as we jump into the draft for game 2 here on Philippines on the red. Bans coming out. Not sure if much is going to change. That is the Moskov and the Ganakasha though being banned out this time around.
Oh, okay. They're respecting the Gato Prio that ONIC likes to go for. Let's see if we'll see Loi. I think Loi is one of the picks that we have to put focus on here with the Moskov getting taken out by ONIC PH. They still have a possibility to play that because that's sort of like a threat. When you ban out Moskov first phase, you're sort of telling a team, hey, watch out for us picking Loi. Because when we take out the Moskov, that's one of the best heroes that could deal with a Loi gone.
Which also opens up one of the most notorious heroes in the history of the game, Fanny. Fanny is still at large because of these whole Moskov bans.
Oh, banned out.
Oh, there she is.
banned
All
out,
right.
yeah, she's banned
Clean. Okay. Good. So that leaves the whole Joy Suyo situation.
TNC did respect the Loi actually.
Mathilda was snubbed game 1. I don't know how to feel about that.
It might be snubbed yet again.
Selena, though, that's open too.
Now, anyway. It has come out with that last ban of the best actually be the phobia. So this first pick, what's TNC do
Joy Ben,
with the happiness blue side?
King Kong Leisure, Joy
This
Ben.
favorable pick.
Do they steal the Joy, or do they let that open too? They pick up the Eve.
I think they.
King Kong le Joy dia
I
wani
don't think TNC takes the joy.
I think I'll go. I mean, Suyo's still up on the board. They can just again. You can not go wrong with the Suyo pickup. But then you're giving the likes of again, Granger Jungle is still an option for ONIC PH after all this time somehow.
They did that against See You Soon.
Yeah.
In SPS.
But that might be a little bit too risky. It might just end up becoming a Joy Suyo trade again, and then you'll see a Harith potentially for ONIC.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ooh, Oh, okay. This I
You
like.
mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the spicy picks, like if it's very open, like
Sure,
you
Joy.
go Harith. So now it overloads ONIC with a choice of Suyo Joy. TNC will be left with one or the other.
And ONIC doesn't have to rush the Granger.
Exactly. But I wouldn't like TNC to actually pair Joy and Harith together because that's an overload of magic damage.
Yeah. And then,
So ONIC goes Suyo X.
Yeah.
Then make my day.
Yeah.
Suyo Yue? Suyo Yi?
Suya Eve, yeah.
If you look at Eve the right way, it does say Eve.
Suyo.
There's one thing that I want to see TNC consider
Kinang Suyo.
in this first phase.
Oh.
They go ahead and rush it.
Ayaw,
They showed the
ayaw.
stat and Brusco was like, nah.
That doesn't sit well with me, coach.
I think here they have to consider the likes of Eve, Khalid, and I want them to consider Nolan actually in the jungle instead of a Joy, because up against that show, I wouldn't like it very much. Joy needs to stay a little bit longer to make her electrifying beats work, while Nolan is literally, first, I'm out of here.
Or
Yeah.
better yet, just a Haya. It's
Yeah.
safer. You're not even on the map for the throw to kick.
Well, we do see Cho get picked up once there is a high on the other side. They might be leaning a little bit more towards high, yeah. Oh, they go Alpha. We were just talking about it. And they go Alpha Matilda.
Matilda.
Great
The
first,
classic.
great first half for TNC. We were looking for it earlier. Here it is.
Classic combo. Matilda
better.
Alpha.
Much better start for TNC, I'll say.
Yeah, I like
You
this.
hate the Alpha.
Yeah, so I like the combo. I've seen enough of Alpha, even though he's my second most played hero.
Alpha Dog 360.
Alpha Dog 360. You do tune in.
I know. All right, so ONIC has to pick a mid laner here. And they don't. All right, the Granger's still open.
Tinggal
Alright,
ito
so-
si Glendario.
Man, for instance, hero pool, he doesn't care.
This
Glendario.
is dive versus reach. TNC definitely. Actually, you know what? No, ONIC are the ones that take out the Eve.
I was thinking TNC.
Wow.
I thought TNC would. I think Super Prince just probably wants Valentina.
Yeah.
Like he probably wants Valentina, or if
I don't
he
think there's
doesn't,
enough on the board to steal it.
maybe Super Prince just he'll take it.
TNC को ले मुझको
No?
पत्रा खेला था
Comeback season ko ito, he says. Okay, wait, hold on. This is actually, whoa. This is all in Tagalog. I got this, guys.
Go ahead.
Yawi via All-Star Magazine. Comeback season ko ito, he says. Sobrang daming nagdadaw sa akin. Kaya mas namamotivate akong matutunan yung sarili ko.
All right, to be fair,
Was that close?
the major beats are in English.
Yeah.
So it's his comeback season. A lot of people are doubting him, and that just makes it all the more a way of motivating himself
All right.
to prove that the haters are wrong.
Yeah, haters are wrong, man.
That's it.
I love it. More power, Tristan.
Gone.
There's Selena.
It's either Aurora Vixana. The three majors I'm looking for are Aurora Vixana, Sicilian.
Matilda,
And I think
Harith,
that
Alpha.
Sicilian would slot in so well with TNC Pro Team's Alpha, Matilda, Harith all together. They have the true damage and overload of magic. They'll need the. They'll be lacking physical
You know
on
what's,
the XP.
you know what's risky? If it's a Cillian, since TNC's already looking like a dive comp,
Yeah.
Cillian has a dead zone in front of him, so I wouldn't.
No, I mean TNC are. Oh, for ONIC not to pick the Sicilian. Yeah, okay.
yes, yes.
So that means TNC will get the Sicilian plus what? Foe? Oh, no, Foe is gone.
Lucas is still open.
Lucas, yeah.
Lucas.
Oh, Lucas, Sicilian, and TNC would be so aggro.
So good.
If they want a bit of, they take
Oh,
it still.
Yeah.
They don't care about the dead
Yes.
zone.
Super Fritz
It's
doesn't
Super
care.
Frizz. He's gonna sidestep everything.
Okay, Barrett's.
Ooh,
XP, but
yeah.
Room.
This is an XP Barrett.
Imagine they swing the Alpha though, and it was like Jungle Barrett's, like we
God.
throw it back,
what's in mid?
right?
Oh,
What's
you.
mid play gonna be?
I think they're just Farsa.
Lanes against Cillian.
Yeah.
You legs you.
Preach anyway.
मुझको
That's right.
खेलने
You need
बब्बाल
to
खेलेगा.
go toe to toe, range for range.
Novaria. They don't need heavy magic damage. The vision, the slow, they already have the Harith for the heavy magic damage.
right.
Isn't that such a Lancey pick too?
Yeah. Oh, dang it.
I mean, dive is dive.
Oh, dang it.
So you needed to play in that space.
Pushing.
The Novaria would have been weird. As much of a utility pick as it is, and especially for Lancey.
Oh, dang.
On it closes strong with a Specialty for Kirk.
Yeah, that's
Kirk special.
That's a signature, man.
When you say Edith, it's him and
No.
Edward.
I was gonna say, yeah, him and Edward. I still think, you know, with this lineup for TNC, I like the concept of it. I like what they are bringing to it, but maybe the Aurora is part of the answer too, to kind of go ahead and work on catching Kelra, because I feel like that was, you know, some of the difficulty they had. Or maybe it's also just a good answer, just in case they get caught by a claws, for example, or they get kicked. They can force that fight by just locking them down with the Aurora kit.
Yeah, no, I totally see that happening, and I agree. I think that's what they were looking for when they picked up the Aurora. The Barretts, I think, is going to be the biggest question here, because this is very timing-based. This lineup puts a lot of pressure on the three players all together, the Matilda, the Alpha, the Barretts together. They need to weave in and out of the well.
See if they can weave it, make it work, take it to a game 3. That'd be something that a lot of people might not expect from TNC. Can they make it happen here in game number 2 against ONIC Philippines? And again, even with the setup, you know, it's funny how we were just talking about the Alpha, and now he comes through for Zaida here. This matchup too, the Alpha versus the Suyo, he's gonna have to make it work, but at least in this way, they have a ton of utility this time for TNC to go ahead and play around with, other than just the diversion.
Which I think is something we've failed to mention. The damage profile on TNC is so odd. If Kozen's not ready,
Yeah.
who's dealing the damage?
Yeah. Yowie on the Matilda, maybe. And, you know, like, at that point, that's a good question to ask here on how they approach the game, especially in the early game. Because of the fact, too, if Kozen ends up getting behind against this matchup, the Granger versus the Harith, he's going to have some trouble, and he's really going to have to rely on Yowie to help him out, probably.
Yeah, again, a lot of pressure on the ones that we mentioned. Lansing really needs to be hitting those glaciers. And most importantly, the closest thing they have to the potential, where's the damage coming from, the answer to it is it's Zaida. It has to be that Alpha. But the Alpha will have to put himself in such dangerous situations with a Sicilian that you won't be able to reach, a Granger you can't reach. Okay, let's take out the goal laner first. But just up against the other 4 heroes on the side of ONIC, that's a tough dance to dance for an Alpha.
Even against Kirk, who has like 1 or 2 items, and once he presses the Primal Wrath, Alpha might even have to say, guiding wins, guiding wins!
Yeah, it's like, Zaida might actually have to hold on to his Spear of Alpha, so he just has an option to out in case he needs it.
Oh, look how fast his turtle's going here.
Ooh.
They actually contest.
TNC taking it clean. Zaida scores, looking to punish one. Super Prince bites it.
Good play. They get a turtle, they get a kill to go ahead and work around.
Oh.
King Kong just finding else on the map.
Yeah, he stole the orange buff, so that's a trade they decided to go for. They know that they lose against the level 4 of the Barretts in the first objective, so they decided, you know what, let's just get vision here. They were able to spot out Super Prince, took him down, but they lost their orange buff, and that's where the deficit gets balanced out.
That is advanced thinking by the beast, the Sigma King. He's done this like what?
Yeah.
Dozens of times, hundreds of times. Like, this is the signature response for ONIC when they don't have the initiative.
And this is what I was saying in the previous game. You know, every time they seems like they're going to lose, mostly an objective, they're finding something elsewhere across the map, and that's why that macro play style from ONIC Philippines has been so prevalent for a lot of the competitions they've been in. A lot of teams that have been studying them is, you know, replicating that movement from them. So it does look like they are the ones going with the troubleshooting here. So a couple minutes hopefully, and we're back into the game. But I would say, you know, even for TNC at least, this way, with this kind of lineup, you can actually play pretty well with the fact that you have a Matilda, right? But I'm wondering, because when was the last time maybe we saw Yowie play a Matilda? I know at least, is this one of his picks that he can actually have that playstyle with? Or is it more just, I'm going to be that utility guy, I'm going to get my people out of the sticky situations and work from there?
Forever. It's been about forever since we saw Yowie on Matilda.
A few games here and there in Indonesia from time to time. Back when he was, I think his name was, at that time, King Gugun. I remember I liked their combo when it was a Matilda Barretts that they pulled off. There would be times also when Iran would be playing the Barretts and the EXP. Actually, no, wait. Is Yowie just playing some of Aura and Liquid's greatest hits? That's just a thought that struck me right now. It's like, cause we were thinking like, Oh, it's very on-coded, right? Sort of like TLID Arky Hoshi.
This ain't working. Let's run it back.
Yeah, now I'm
Let's
just
run
feeling
it
like,
back.
is this TLID in the Philippines? What's going on?
But again, you're taking something that worked prior and then running it back. There's a reason why things are great in their context.
Yes.
I don't think it's a good idea. Well, so far it is, right? So far, they scored a turtle, they drew first blood.
Yeah.
Who am I to say it's a bad idea?
The only thing that is a bad idea for TNC in this one, I feel like, or one of the big bad ideas, is letting the game get too long. Because you got a Sicilian, man. Like, you got that, but also if Kelra just does what he did last time.
You got double stacking heroes
Yes.
as cores. Punish them.
Yeah.
That's one way to win, yes.
Hopefully they're able to go ahead and execute that. We'll see. It looks like they're ready, nearly ready to jump back. There it is. There's the signal.
Sant, do it, Sant!
There it is. Man, his form has really been refined since last season.
Bit of hesitation there at the beginning, though. He was second guessing himself if it was time to go, but I'm glad he still got it down.
Okay, jumping back into the game again. If you're just joining us, that first turtle and first blood secured and taken by TNC. And, you know, not only do the factors they have this tons of utility with the Matilda pick, but they also are still able to go ahead and run with the 2 Purifies to help them with, you know, some of the CC that's going to be thrown at them with ONIC Philippines' lineup. They're rotating around.
All right, that's a little under
oh,
score.
oh.
JM misses.
Oh.
The Dennis Welcome finds a missile expert, though. King Kong is going to go down. Zyda gets the kill. And there's nothing on the board for ONIC just yet. I was going to say, isn't it ridiculous that the team who is facing against the CC of TNC or of this lineup doesn't have Purify? Look at ONIC. No respect to the CC.
This is what I call athleticism, man. Like, athletic flickers.
Yeah.
Nah, I'd win.
Yeah, that's a pure reaction. I think there's a window of time where you can react to flickering away from the ultimate of the Aurora, similarly to the Barretts, although I think the Barretts would be a little bit harder to pull off.
Spear of Alpha.
Yeah. Spear of Alpha is their biggest problem, though. That's the one, like, if you're stuck in there, you're stuck.
I mean,
you cannot get out of it.
There's a lot of CC that I'm just thinking maybe ONIC could have respected a little more. But who am I to say? These are world champions, right? I'm just a dude staring at a screen screaming.
You're just a guy. At this point, though, too. Already early poke. This is what we expect, though, especially with the Sicilian, and it's only going to get worse as the game goes on. But TNC is in a position to go ahead and try to just secure the second turtle. They might be able to just go ahead and grab it by zoning off ONIC, and it looks like that's going to happen. But look at this, too. As Zyda secures that, there's a wave cut up top. Kirk might have to get back. There's going to be a quick response.
First time it happened, King Kong stole an orange. Now he was forced to stay on his side of the map. So, yeah, deep cut by Kirk, but TNC can respond to it just as quickly. What's crazy is what gasps me, all right, is the fact that the gold lead ain't that big. How is how is ONIC keeping it tight like this?
How many times have we asked this question about ONIC? Again, they just get resources somehow from minion waves, those little compounding steals of the jungle creeps, whether it's the lizards or the golems. That's just it.
And they're taking the first turn of the game.
They get that turret just like that, too.
What?
Again, it was all a timing thing there. You know, Kozin does get a start on side here. They want to go ahead and trade. They're going to take this tier 1 on the bottom side. But
TNC
that's the thing. It is a
Philippines.
good thing to kind of keep attention to for ONIC Philippines. Even though it might look like, yeah, objectively they're losing this or they're losing that turtle, but they're still able to keep things even in terms of economy. And all the while, like we said, Super Prince is just going to be stacking up, doing his thing on the Sicilian.
Despite the Barretts also showing how much damage it would take, good emblem adjustments by ONIC Philippines. They actually are packing Ruptures on Super Prince and Kelra, so that's maybe really just to answer the Barretts. Other than that, TNC, at some point they're going to have to translate them winning objectives into more objectives. Get turrets down. Right now, the minion rates are weird, strangely enough, getting manipulated by ONIC PH. TNC have only traded the sides, but you'd think at some point they'd be able to get the mid lane if they play their cards right in this third turtle or on the first lord.
Kirk spotted by 2. Salmon Force committed here by Kozin. Primal Rat by Kirk. Blasting away. In comes Super Prince. Counter hook as well. No one hit by the Frigid Glacier. Brusco backs off. The respect to the firepower of ONIC PH.
Nice,
Still,
nice,
TNC
nice.
happy with their kill.
Happy with their kill, but they
TNC
might
कस्तो पेलेको
look for more Brusco.
Chau,
Oh, not
chau,
gonna land the
chau.
kick he was looking for in that angle. So that's 3 for 3 for Turtles for TNC here.
Wow, a great play right now by TNC. See, okay, one of the
Lord,
questions
total
answered as to
undo.
why ONIC have minimized the gap in the
Total
goal
undo.
is that every time a sequence is about to happen around an objective,
यो
King Kong is somewhere
TNC ले
else and
लान्छ
he's
जस्तो
farming
छ है
either
यो
clearing
म्याच
mid-range
चाहिँ
or stealing the jungles as we
ONIC ले
mentioned.
एक्लै lead
Now
गरेको
TNC,
छ
we got what we asked for earlier, convert a
TNC.
turtle, a win, a fight
Nice kill रहेछ
into an
TNC.
objective. They got the turret down, the second one in the bottom lane.
Golden
So
to पुरै
now
पेलान्छ
TNC can be poised to, in this next Lord, I want to see them commit a 4-1 split, typically to how ONIC do it. Try to get that mid lane tower down, threaten the lower portion of the map, while you just play around the
Yo,
objective, try to
TNC
bait out
gets
abilities,
also
and then
that.
that's when Lord JM goes with the late usage of the Detonus Welcome.
This is very Filipino. Approaching the 8-minute
Yeah,
mark
when
and
you
there's
got
only
a
3
softing.
kills.
Yep.
It's very Filipino.
Bro, we are so back.
We're so back. You know what?
King
But the
Kong
thing that
Seal,
stands out here too is
especially.
2 big items being picked up for ONIC Philippines. That was the Sky Piercer last picked up for Kelra, and the glowing one now for Super Fritz, and that's going to help with some of that sustainability because, as I say it, there's the total healing done right now from the lineup for TNC. So, you know, if they take a couple shots from Super Fritz, that's going to help, you know, bring that down a little bit. And that's why I'm saying TNC, it's great they have this control in this portion of the game, but hopefully they can continue on, get this Lord, and then transition to actually marching towards ONIC Philippines' base.
Look at King Kong escorting
King Kong
a
le
chubby
माथि
wave
एउटा
up top. I mean, if they knew exactly where Zyda was, maybe he would have committed, but they're taking it slow. They're working on the safe lane here that's closer to the Lord. So ONIC might be thinking to contest.
अब लर्ड चाहिँ कसले खान्छ
right now are formed up in the map.
TNC ले तिनटै
Okay,
टोटल
so they are
खाइदिइसक्यो
doing what we said that they should, but what they gave up was actually control around the objective. Now ONIC are holding the priority
लड
shots
आयो लड
for this
आयो
Lord. They're forcing counter to react.
Oh,
bottom.
let's go,
They
let's
caught
go.
Fritz!
Wait, no!
Oh, the jump in by TNC,
Done.
and they're looking to find a vengeance kill onto Lord JM. Not going to happen.
Oh,
As
Lord,
TNC
maybe
collapse
so.
onto
Siyo
this
kay
Lord
Siyo, Siyo,
at
kan
half
Paulo
health
sa
now.
Lord,
Yawi
Siyo,
pushing
TNC
back
lihan
the
niya.
rest of ONIC Philippines,
TNC lihan
and that's the
kayo.
Phoenix
Oh,
Army
Lord
scoring a
Bonnie.
major objective.
There you go, TNC. Lord JM's been on point. I mean, utilizing the
4-0
flicker
man.
with the Daytona's
What's
welcome to
up,
find
man?
those key pickoffs.
Feed him more.
Wow. I'm so
Right.
glad that actually Lord
Ball
JM got
TNC
that
bane.
because that's the opener they needed. Again, ONIC PH had the positional advantage. But whether it was Lord JM's call or TNC's call, let's just say it's a TNC call, to commit the flicker Detonus Welcome to cast Super Fritz, it showed. ONIC PH were so hesitant to even show themselves because even though the Detonus Welcome was gone, one of their biggest deterrents, their biggest tools in the team fight, the Sicilian was taken out.
Was taken out, and you know, at this point they'll go ahead and just try to clear things up, hold things together the best they can, just try to secure these buffs as well. But they're gonna have to deal with the Lord eventually. And so right now, TNC playing in their favor, playing in the momentum. They want to go ahead and march down at least the mid lane, get some of these shields popped if they can. Mid lane, adding wind. Certainly Eagle use.
Siyo.
They get that turret down, still trying to march in with this Lord. The goal is right now just those
King
shields.
Kong ले
honestly,
माथिल्दाले
for TNC at
लग्यो
this
है
point.
माथिल्दा गयो King
All
Kong
the
भेटौँमा
shields, I'd say, are minor
यो
objectives.
हिरोको हो त्यहाँ
Again,
कोजिन
confirmed
yes
wave clear.
Siyo kang
And talking about wave clear, look how
recall
Curtis
niya
commits
so
the
nice
Primal Wrath. We need to get rid of this Lord ASAP.
लास्ट पिल्ला चाहिँ TNC ले बब्बालाई
Poke damage
Low.
not quite there just
10
yet for
मिनेटमा
ONIC Philippines.
Pull the shields up top.
So TNC Pro Team will be
They
controlling
got one.
the tempo. Yeah, that's one. They
There's
got,
about a minute and a half that they could use it.
they got
So,
two.
एक किल दिएको छैन यहाँ
oh yeah,
TNC
this
ले
one.
They got the bottom one, right? The bottom one.
Bottom
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Bottom pop.
Okay. Well, TNC, this is great for them still because they're continuing to build up on the lead that they have. But I'm just wondering, right? At some point, will this
त्यो
turn
King
in
Kongको
favor
मा
of
फार्म
ONIC
दामी
Philippines
रहेछ
because
15 पुगिसक्यो
if
King
they
Kong
just buy themselves some
Zaidan
time
puyo,
even into the next
15,
order
okay.
past that. We always know whenever a
But King Kong
Sicilian is on a
farm
team, I mean,
dami.
we saw this even back in M6, man. The amount of defenses based around this hero alone, the Sicilian, can win games.
They're taking time bomb.
There's the stacks right there.
So it's at 169, 170 something now.
Yeah.
Again, the double stack hero is currently, biting ONIC in the behind.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Usually, the main goal for Sicilians is to reach 210 or 211.
Yeah.
He'll be able to get there maybe at around 13 minutes. It won't take that long.
उनीलाई
Although,
त्यस्तो पिल दिएको यिनीहरूले
one of the main conditions also that
Global
Super
field
Friends needs to
there,
get his third item. Once he's locked his third major item in, that's when TNC is going to start feeling, okay, this is still
Martin
a
Lara
problem.
Harris
But up until that
Kunego,
point, TNC will be in control comfortably as long as they don't mess something up.
And this is why still the amount of utility that TNC's lineup gives them
माथिल्लाले
is such
बोक्दै
an
लगिरहेछ
advantage.
म्या
And it's funny because
हारिसलाई
I was thinking
लड आयो
when the
यो
game
लड
started,
ल यो लड म्या
you know, for Lord JM that he would
यो
rely
लडले अब
heavily on
डिसाइड
guiding
गर्छ
ways to set things up, but he hasn't really needed it.
TNC
He just
जित्छ कि
flickered
जित्दैन
a lot of them.
ए
So
म्या
the fight for
बब्बाल
this war
पेल्दैछ
is going to
TNC
break out. I'm wondering if ONIC Philippines be able to contest this.
Ain't no dance here as TNC is fully committed. Here comes another Dennis Welcome with a flicker. Cancelled though. Lord James still standing, but just barely. Diamond Force sent in by Kozen. Lancey very low. Kirk taking
Yo,
the
man.
in the back line. And this does delay the Lord
Wait,
James.
so- wait,
But
so
they do
keep-
by-
keep
oh,
on,
no
keep
way,
on.
the Dragon by Brusco.
Lord,
Taken.
so
Lord
keep
James
on,
but
go.
not gonna end the
कस्तो
job.
जसेको
Zaida survives. No one taken by ONIC. Clean for TNC.
We talked about pressure on the
Right,
Lord J and
man.
Yawi and Zaida to make the core of this lineup work. Screw pressure. They are making this work.
So,
Lord
Brusco.
JM's decision making to enter.
Brusco
Yawi being able to
Nikita.
time the guiding winds to supplement the shields. He saved Zaida in
La,
that scenario.
Lord खाइहाल्यो
And
नि
Zaida is still deathless at 3-0
TNC ले
and 1.
लान्छ
I
TNC ले
can't believe
यो
even
गेम
with the
चाहिँ
Sea Halberd and glowing
One-on
wand
हुन्छ
over
नि
here from ONIC Philippines.
बेस्ट
The
अफ 3 हो
sustainability, the
ONIC लाई
healing was
त्यस्तो
just
छैन
too
केही
much
गाह्रो
for TNC to go ahead and just win those fights. We're going to take a look at the replay here in just a second as they get ready to march in. And this fight was great. Even the Zaman force enough to help zone out a little bit. There's the kick from Brusco. And then a look at that. Again, utilizing the utility and heals that TNC has with this lineup.
And the raw sustain right now of the Barretts and Matilda together are holding down the front line of TNC Pro Team. And at the same time, Lancey has been on point with his follow-ups, dishing the crowd control that he needs to dish. What we talked about earlier in terms of Brusco's entries getting just checked by the Aurora, that's been happening. And it's not just actually Brusco's entries, it's ONIC, it's their entire entry that's getting dealt with.
It's not giving, is what the kids would say.
Yeah, it's not giving.
Feigned. Circling Eagle there by Yawi. Forcing response from
सिधा
ONIC.
TNC ले सिधाउँछ
All three taken down in mid. King Kong and the rest of ONIC just scrambling to protect what's left of their base. The Lord left standing. The rest of the waves, though, taken care of. ONIC lives another day.
Another update for Prince Watch. He just built up the Magic Lantern. Still going to be lacking in the damage department. They really need him on that third core item, and then that's when TNC is going to start feeling the pain. But will we even get there is the main question right now. Super Prince does have the most damage dealt, but once that number reaches like around 40k, that's when things have gone wrong for TNC.
Yeah. Oh, Lancey.
Oh, what?
Oh, drops in a frigid glacier. Kozen also commits his own
Zero
Thunder
mark
Force
guy
underneath the
man,
tier
what
3, but
you
ONIC
doing,
ain't
Zero?
having any of it.
Oh.
Concealed play coming in, Brusco and Kirk. Frontliners for ONIC looking for some prey. Lets them go. TNC plays a conservative game, pressuring ONIC elsewhere.
That was really spicy, man. You know, from Lancey to go ahead and flicker forward for that. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to catch anyone from ONIC Philippines the way that he wanted to. But that is showcasing how confident TNC is feeling right now. You know, 6,000 gold ahead at this point. Mind you, when was the last time we saw our Philippines without any kills up to this point in their previous winning games or even matches in general?
I can't remember. This is even if this is a very Filipino game, I can't remember the last time ONIC was up against the ropes like this.
They egg ONIC, that's a statement. We said TNC winning a game is already going to be a statement. If they take a game from ONIC, wherein ONIC got no kills at all, no major objectives, no Lord, no turtles, that's more than a statement. That's proof that you're ready for this season.
I would say they have finally served a dish. They've been cooking for a while, right?
Yeah.
If that happens here, again, it's not a series over just yet, but it would be great to get to a game number 3 in that sense for TNC.
If they end ONIC here after this Lord, it would be a spicy meatball. Lord,
यो ONIC ले खायो
Halo
भने
3
बवाल
with
हुन्छ
health,
अब
Brusco playing with range, King Kong and Kirk in the wings, with Super Prince trying to get some stacks. Amazing wave management by TNC. They're denying these stacks from Super Friends, which makes this dance all the more interesting. Russo finds one, kicks Lord JM. They're gonna blast the dinosaur. He has the first place here. The Spear of Alpha taking down Brusco. He goes one man down from ONIC. TNC happy with that skirmish. They do send Lord JM back home.
Great Glacier there. Setting up, and again, it's been Brusco, and he's feeling that struggle on the toe now against this kind of lineup. That was a Divine Glaive also picked up now for Super Prince.
Third item.
They gotta wait for this though still, but this should be a Lord for TNC.
Yeah, with Romer gone, it's going to be tough for them to contest, but the defense right now actually should be great for ONIC Philippines. TNC will get this without a problem. Divine Glaive on Friends. Kelra is fully built as the Stranger.
TNC ले लग गया ये game.
TNC can pull off this siege at that moment, that's it. If ONIC defends, that's going to be a shaky time for the Phoenix Army.
All right, it's one thing to counter blessings, but do note this is an enhanced Lord that will be crashing through mid. TNC, I think the play that's coming up next would be a surgical push through each inhibitor left, and then they might go for another. But yeah, the clock is ticking.
It definitely is, because right
18
now,
नहीं रन लाई
you
सके
can
यार
see
0
ONIC
kill में.
Philippines trying to scramble a little bit, trying to
कति pressure
cut some of the
देखो
waves if they
खतरा
can, try to
TNC
stall them out.
बवाल.
Look at this heal, man, from Yawi with the Matilda, and this is why you
the
guys
game
mentioned
यार
the
वो
draft,
निकला क्यों
you're
कर रहे थे
surprised Matilda was slept on
पे.
for a little bit. Yawi once again leading the charge as this Lord comes into the mid lane.
Lord serial lock पे सब जाना था.
That was just but a synchro vision from Kozen. Lord James does not
तू
have
hold कर
a
रहे हैं
flicker.
बब्बाल hold कर रहे
ONIC
हो
will
निकले.
take care of that Lord, and the rest of the waves crashing through top and bottom.
They lose their bottom tower, but they defended this as well as they could.
Ultra tower
They were
back
able
here,
to push back
Matthew
TNC at a crucial moment, and they
Bawal
keep one
TNC.
inhibitor turret standing.
They keep it actually here still. It looks like they are
पहले सोचा थे TNC
doing
के
their own
स्थान से
charge
होने
up,
रहा वो निकला ही.
for ONIC Philippines. They know that time is technically still on their side the further they can bring this game, but right now they really haven't had an answer to TNC. And even with that, obviously it does get a little bit harder to get these stacks. He's at 290 now.
Sicilian
Working on that last item. Yeah, that's good. One of the problem is Kozen's item build is fantastic. He went Bloodwing second to the last item, then Oracle as his final item, selling the boots. It's a barefoot Harith, but this will be a Harith that will just be packing shields non-stop paired up with a Matilda.
इसलिए लॉर्ड जूता नहीं बेचे रहा तो और का आइटम बना रहे थे वो लेवल.
And there is the glowing one on Sicily on Super Prince. But yeah, no, I think Prince needs his Holy Crystal first, and then we can start talking.
Once he gets there, that's 100%. Yeah, TNC has to be so careful here.
If
If this goes the classic TNC fashion of them in control of the game, then they slip right there at the end. That's just heartbreaking, man.
Big sads.
Big sads, yeah.
It will be, but it's almost, if it happens where ONIC Philippines is somehow able to turn this game around too, that's actually going to be quite the miracle with how far behind they've been.
Rogue wave in mid, rogue wave in mid. What?
Rogue wave. It's pushing. No, it's going to be cleared.
There's like one tiny minion.
Took down tier 1, so in case ONIC somehow, I mean, they've done this before, finds an end angle for mid, that's less of a deterrent.
Minion waves right now being overwhelming for ONIC. They have really good wave clear. They have good base defense.
Clear करे बितीरा से यार वहीं
Prince
को.
picks up a Bloodwings. Insurance.
बवाल TNC.
So we got blood. He still has a spot for one last item, I think, because he only had the
Elegant Gem.
The Elegant
You can
Gem,
sell
yeah.
it, pick up a crystal,
Yeah.
and then Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, he's not going to full build that unless he will get this
ग्रैंड से मारे थे ना रहे थे.
be a loss.
Yep.
Should be fine.
The damage profile on TNC, again, they've gone through that hurdle.
Oh, Yawi picking up the whole
Lord
crystal here.
Lord
So.
ना वो.
All right.
Okay.
That's
वो या
Yawi
उनसे
style right there, man.
बौकाल.
Damage Matilda. Yeah, damage Matilda, but also gets the dish out more
Grand
shield as well. Good itemization.
Nice, nice.
But this Lord, whoever gets this might actually win the game.
That's right, Lord now, reset here softly.
Saug बसे
Fully
करना.
now, down to
ब्रस्को
a
ने
fifth
मैं
of its-
वाइल्ड क्यों से रहते हो?
4/5 of its health.
एग्रेसिव
And
खेल सकते हो.
Kong and Kirk are blasting it.
Oh, they're gonna
Boy,
blast
अब बचे हैं से चौली लॉग के लिए लॉग
Prince and
He's
Kelra,
going.
the kick
I
by
told
Bruce
you,
Willis.
Lord खाई दियो ओए मैं दाम
TNC
किंग कॉन्ग
scores
दाम
one. Kirk flickers
और
back.
मैं
Circle Eagle landing
Yo,
and caught by
एक
Super
खायो,
Prince.
खायो,
They take
खायो,
one for
खायो.
one.
From the back.
Escalator
Only
forfeit.
nice.
Sandwich the back line. The spin.
ओए मां बॉल
3 for 1.
किंग कॉन्ग ओए
What?
ओए मां ट्रिपल ओए
Ladies and gentlemen,
Min-
I've done it again.
Maniac, maniac, finish.
Renmar.
And it's a maniac!
Wait, she dies. Wait, man, kill you. Kill
They
this
were
one.
split up!
Yeah,
They
kill this
committed
one.
in helping Lord
Wipe out.
JM.
Wait, she died.
Look at the camera. They can't
Wait,
believe
man,
they
ONIC
did it.
legit.
They can't believe it themselves. Oh, man.
Classic TNC fashion. They had the
ONIC
game,
God,
they
yeah.
had the win,
ONIC
and it
God.
slipped from their
Man,
hands,
man.
while ONIC has pulled magic out of their own
ONIC
hands
is
as
God,
well.
bitch.
Oh, my goodness. It was so close.
The sweep.
Hurt,
We could have
man,
sworn
hurt.
TNC were gonna make God bleed, but the
Wait,
sweep by ONIC
pagol, andi, wait.
Oh, you can even see ONIC Philippines themselves as they cheer. Because, you know, I think even then, they were like, man, what happened?
The commitment of Kirk and King Kong to just say, dude, let's just get this Lord. They're distracted. Did TNC not read it? They overcommitted in helping Lord JM and punishing.
That moment is the perfect time to play that clip from earlier tonight in the pink test. That's my brother! That's my brother! That's my brother! That's both of them just going for it.
I wasn't even surprised because I thought they saw Kirk and King Kong there.
You match जल्दी miss गर्यो धेरै miss गर्यो यार.
And I could have sworn that was a beneficial turn. But,
Man. And they just blitzed the Lord, and then they got cut off. They got confused in themselves, and then they got sandwiched.
ONIC PH sees the map in a different way.
Cozen's wearing that Rise from the Dead jacket from a few seasons back. ONIC PH are the ones that rose from the dead in this game.
What was that? A consistent 6K, 7K gold lead for the majority of 15 minutes? 0 kills on the board? And then a win from nowhere.
Still, props to TNC. Great showing in their first match against a team of the caliber that ONIC
Especially
Philippines.
game 2.
Yes, especially game 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if this TNC squad eventually turns it around. Again, what happened there, that was just one wrong call at the wrong time.
There's time though.
There's time, but
100%.
definitely it's still their time.
It's ONIC time.
It's ONIC time
ONIC
right
time.
now with a little bit of ONIC magic.
Whole lot of potential there for that squad for TNC, and again, I think a lot of you probably even watching at home were
Yes,
just as
guys,
surprised
it's
as us
all
and
gonna get
everybody
out
here
here, man.
in the
So,
MPL Philippines
hot
arena.
trash.
So can't wait to hear what they have to say about that win for the sweep. Let's go ahead and throw it over on stage for the winners interview with Hans and Oda.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a series it has been. Your winners, ONIC Philippines. Ibang klase. Kendra, nasa na yung mic natin? Kendra, sige. Ayan, tatabihan na lang. 7-0. Lugi kayo for almost 20 minutes ng 7-0. I wonder what's going through your mind. Ano ba nangyayari sa homes nyo during the time na sobrang dehado talaga kayo dun sa sitwasyon na yun?
Isa lang comms namin eh. Sabi namin, ultra kalmado lang.
Ano?
Ultra kalmado.
Ultra kalmado. Yun, mabuti na malinaw. And I also want to know, kasi there are a lot of previous instances na parang sinasabi nila na meron daw talagang champion's curse. And you guys, you've competed in a lot of different tournaments. Gusto kong malaman, may tala ba ang champion's curse sa ONIC Philippines?
Tignan natin. Pero para sa amin, hindi namin iniisip yun. Iniisip pa rin namin yung laro lang namin. Hindi namin iniisip mga champion curse na.
At na-display nila yun kanina. Again, congratulations,
Hanggat
Kendra.
hindi tapos ang laban, ay talaga namang lumaban ang ONIC Philippines. At gusto ko rin makausap ng super friends. Cecilion ang ginamit mo sa game number 2. Talaga bang pag Cecilion talab yung late game?
Opo. Parang talaga kasi depensa lang talaga.
Nakita namin yung fighting spirit niyo, especially doon sa 7-0 nga na standings niyo kanina. And sa previous season, tinawag ka ng Monster Mage as your moniker. Feel mo ba yun talagang nararapat sa iyong itawag? Monster Mage.
Feel mo ba? Deserve mo
Deserve
na
mo
yun
ba
sa
yun?
ngayon?
Hindi pa.
Ano bang kailangan ni Super Prince para ma-feel mo na deserve mo na yun?
MSC.
MSC! Nako,
Mabuti ng malinaw. I just have one
Malapit
more
na.
question, alright? Or at least two more. Katabi naman na kita, Brusco eh. So, ilalapit ko na sa'yo. Kanina, sinabi ni Yawi nung na-interview ko siya na ikaw talaga yung isa sa mga gusto niyang makalaban. I wanna know kung ano ba yung response mo ngayon na nagkatapat kayo. Anong masasabi mo sa kanya?
Follow pa rin. Yawi.
Palu pa rin
Palu
si
pa rin.
Yawi. Yun ang kanyang masasabi. Pero aside from Yawi, if you're looking at a different perspective, sino pa ba ang isa sa mga roamers this season na gusto mong makalaban?
May sinisigaw yung mga audience natin eh.
Sino?
Sino?
Okay, may naririnig tayong names. Brusco, sino gusto mo makaharap? Grabe yung coaching, no? Ang tindi ng coaching.
Parang si Brusco mismo nako-confuse kung sino ba ang gusto niya makaharap.
Ito na yun. Rene J.
Rene J.
Nabanggit na si Rene J. I wanna know why. Bakit si Rene J?
Para ano, wala lang, parang sa tingin ko si Rene J rin yung ano ngayon eh. Parang sa pinakamalakas magtangay sa page.
Alright.
And that says a lot about this team. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your winners,
ONIC
ONIC Philippines! You may now take your walk of victory.
Congratulations! What a sweep for ONIC Philippines. Hans, talagang hindi natin in-expect yung mga nangyari sa seryeng ito.
Boys, right there at the Isle of Glory, you may now take your bow. Again,
Weekly
the
Horror,
defending
down
champions,
30 minutes,
ONIC
babal.
Philippines, really showcasing what they can do dito mismo sa ating laban.
Yan talaga ang nakita natin sa day na number 1, Hans. At talaga namang sobrang nakaka-excite, nakakagulat lahat ng mga pangyayari.
Well, I'm sure that our casters will have to say a lot about that recent
Batsi
matchup. Kaya naman, casters,
zero
the floor
button
is all
and
yours.
Tarki 5 kilometer video.
Thank you again so much, Hans, Odin, and of course, there to ONIC Philippines, the champions, former champions, and now world champions, of course, showcasing that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with once again this season. So great to see, and I like how they mentioned, you know, they're just very calm. Kelra, I feel like he was trying to tie a shoe the whole time. Like, I don't know if he ever accomplished it.
MLBB is intense. I can't count the number of times I've been casting or playing MLBB professionally,
In your shoes.
and then my shoes just come off.
Dude, that's why you just go no shoelaces.
That's right. I'm wearing tussles now.
Just go barefoot.
I'm wearing tassels.
Here's one guy that loves to go barefoot in the jungle.
I love you, King Kong.
It's King Kong.
Where'd that come from?
Where was that from? Give that guy a jersey, man.
All right, 4-1-0 for King Kong, and well, I'm trying to think about why King Kong is the MVP. All right, yeah, he did get that maniac in the end.
Yes.
It was him and Kurt that was able to rush that Lord.
Yeah.
It was him leveling out the goal during some key times.
Tag me in. Because even when they were losing, he was doing something on the map.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about with King Kong and ONIC Philippines. If they know they are taking a losing fight, then you'll find King Kong in another part of the map getting resources.
7-0 by rounds.
Or a minion wave that's free to push. Interestingly enough, it was King Kong getting picked out by Lord JM after King Kong got a little bit too eager to steal the Litho Wanderer away that led to the domino effect of
Yeah,
TNC controlling
against
majority
the
of the game.
Bruno Leon.
Because King Kong got
Bruno
picked off,
Paul
it
Mare.
shut down the sequence ONIC wanted to do, and from there you see the formation of ONIC and the rotation
Sicily
be
kilometer. King
uncomfortable
Kong Leon
for them to
maniac
take.
and
So it was just a long crawl back to being able to turn the game around until they found this moment. King Kong danced around TNC so well, landing a maniac, surviving that long. At that point, a fully built Suyo in this point of the game can definitely do those things.
That is what makes King Kong a
8-0
beast.
बाट
The fact that he
8-5 बनाएर
respects
सिद्धाको
the scales of power, the food chain at any time in the game, wherein he understands I can't go hunting like this. I gotta go find scraps elsewhere. I gotta make like a cat right now and hunt in the nighttime, not the day. And then the game
Greatest
just evens
comeback
it out
ever,
so that Kelra and Super Friends can get to a point where they can win.
And that whole theme here for this lineup really was this late game. I'm just surprised
तिनटै
that
टोटल
it
उनीहरूले
happened
खाएको
the way that it did.
लड
Is
पनि
what
उनीहरूले
is-
खान्छ
I
एउटा
feel
मात्रै
like
लड
the
खाएको
majority of
लास्टमा
people felt like. And even then,
उनीहरूले
that last little
त्यो पनि
iteration,
युज
that last
भएन
little
कि
sequence of
लड
fighting,
पनि
that before he got the maniac, the fact that he was able to
Wiped out
kind
on
of
this
sidestep
video,
and
man.
scoot around and do those Suyo things is what made it so special too.
He wishes he was a
उनी
joy.
गोटे
But he was a Suyo. It looked like he was trying to go.
Yeah, he was able to do a version of that, not in typical Joy fashion, but
I don't know,
definitely
right? The
harder to
guys
pull
look
off if you are
copy the
Tap
right
roll,
a
tap roll.
Suyo. Yeah, exactly.
Paris- Paris ले बॉल
Thankfully, you
बनाते
could
हैं
rotate with a charge sever. Because you could.
Here's an interesting point of itemization, by the way, Super Friends. We thought he wouldn't build a COD. He still went for the COD. And I think Well, at that point, he wouldn't have gotten a lot of the good stacks on it, but apparently it was enough to help him out. As well as the Blood Wings, I think, because it looked like such a good target for TNC. It's like, hey, Kelra's here. Super Prince is here. We get these two down. The Edith and the Suyo won't be able to do much, but since the Sicilian survived for so long, Kelra got to survive for so long, and that whole thing crumbled the moment they realized, wait, the Lord got taken. Let's go to Kirk and let's go get King Kong and Kirk. But wait a minute, we left the Sicilian and the Granger alive. It just turned into a mess for TNC.
The COD makes sense because of TNC's damage profile. The only one who really has any burst is Kozin on the Harith, right? Like when he starts dashing around. But everyone else deals some level of DOT. So if you have the COD, Sicilian can just stand in front of you like, I have hybrid defense. What now?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
At that point. And I'm wondering, I don't know if we got a glimpse there too, but like how many stacks? Probably